What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. Today we're talking about the latest from Holo Taco, their Off the Deep End collection, which is honestly a perfect spring-summer vibe to me. Before we get into the details, if you haven't heard of Holo Taco before, they are a nail polish brand created by YouTuber Christine of Simply Nailogical, and all of their polishes are 10-free, meaning they are free of 10 of the potentially harmful ingredients that can be found in nail polish. They're vegan, meaning they do not use any animal-derived ingredients, and they're also cruelty-free, meaning they do not test their products on animals. I did post a little sneak peek of these on a YouTube short, but today I'm coming at you with a full review. So let me show you the swatches, then we can talk a little bit more about pricing, availability, my thoughts, all that good stuff. So roll the swatch footage. So as with all of my swatch review videos, I am using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today it's the Holo Taco base coat. So I'm going to start off with the shade that I'm actually wearing right now, and in the intro and outro of this video, this is Wait a Minute. And this one is a really beautiful turquoise jelly base, and it is totally packed to the brim with a few different colors of iridescent flakes. So primarily I can see a lot of green and blue, and then we also have some beautiful gold in there. And for each swatch, I'm going to show you what it looks like in 2 and 3 coats. Now we'll talk about this a little bit more in my thoughts, but I am actually wearing this in 2 coats. But what's nice about these is that you can kind of choose how much intensity you want in the color. So in 3 coats, all of them look a lot more bold, and you can see a lot more of those intense flakies kind of coming through on the nail. So it's nice to have the option, and because they're very smooth and workable, you can pick your opacity. Next up, we have the shade Crashing Out, and this one is a very intense cobalt blue base. And then again, within it, we've got a ton of different colors of iridescent flakes. This one, looking at it head on, I primarily see a lot of purple and fuchsia kind of colors. You can also see the little specks in there are a silver scattered hollow sparkle. So really gorgeous. It definitely gives deep oceanic sort of vibes to me. And here's what it looks like in 3 coats. One thing I always do with these types of polishes with the bigger flakes is sometimes once I apply it onto my nail, a little bit could be hanging off. So I usually just push the edge of my nail to get that back onto my nail. You'll see it a lot in these swatches, but super easy way just to make sure that the flakies are still there and that the manicure doesn't have any little pieces that are sticking out. Next up, we have the shade Made Me Ink. And to be honest, when I first saw this one, especially next to Crashing Out in the bottle, I thought that these were going to be near dupes, and I was a little bit disappointed. But I have to say, as soon as I started applying the first coat, I was incredibly excited because this one is actually a cool toned purple jelly base. And then within it, we have these beautiful blue and teal and turquoise iridescent flakes. And this one actually also has a flash reactive sparkle scattered throughout. The rest of the polishes in this set do. It is very subtle, but I do think in sunlight or very direct lighting, you can see a little bit of that extra sparkle. It kind of reminds me of the sun hitting the surface of water. So that's really cool. And one thing I love about this is the more coats you do, the more blue toned it looks because of that cool purple base and the blue glitters in there. So really cool that you can kind of pick how blue toned you want it to be. And then we have the shade Don't Be Jelly. This is another purple, but this one is definitely a very warm toned purple jelly base. And then we have a ton of colors in iridescent flakies in here. This one kind of reminds me of like a Mardi Gras vibe. Definitely a party on the nails. I can see purple, I can see blue, I can see a little bit of turquoise and gold in there. So it's a very special, fun, sparkly kind of vibe. And like I said, this is another one that has that subtle flash reactive sparkle in there. So it's not necessarily something that you can see looking head on, but whenever brands add in a little something extra like that, I think it just adds depth to the polish and it just makes it look that much more unique. So loved the way that this one looked in 2 coats, but I thought it was super fun and vibrant in 3. It just really gave a lot more intensity with all of the colors of iridescent flakes in there. And looking at the swatch now, I feel like a lot of those little flakes ended up looking kind of heart-shaped, which was really cute. But that is totally random, by the way. So now moving into the more pinky reddish kind of colors, this one is What a Catch. swatch, and this one is a beautiful medium pink jelly base that has a lot of warm toned iridescent flakes running throughout. So we've got some pink, we've got some orange, we've got some gold, and you can also see that this one was reading a little bit more sheer slash sparse, but I feel like it still looked beautiful in 2 coats. I think when it comes to polishes like this, where the amount of flakies you get on the brush is kind of random, sometimes it can feel that way, that one polish is less opaque than others, but I think it just ended up being the way that I applied it. So I have a feeling that was just my own user error. But again, 3 coats really upped the intensity here. It made it really beautiful. It kind of highlighted the fact that that medium pink is a little bit more cool toned, but it's balanced out by those very warm toned flakes. And this is another one that has that flash reactive sparkle in there. And last but definitely not least, we have the shade Big Reef Energy, which is a really vibrant cherry red jelly base. And it is totally packed with what I want to say is a rainbow of iridescent flakes. I feel like there's no color that I'm seeing significantly more than others, maybe gold. But other than that, I feel like I'm just seeing every color of the rainbow in here. This one was so opaque in 2 coats. I love a red jelly because it always ends up covering my visible nail line. So here's what it looked like in 2 coats, but of course I'm also going to show you what it looked like in 3. And if you watch my channel, you probably hear me say this literally all the time, because for some reason, a vibrant red jelly, especially when it has flakies in it, and especially when it has gold in it, always makes me think of Lunar New Year vibes. But it's also just a really eye-catching, stunning sort of shade that I think you can wear any time of year, especially when you're talking about super saturated colors like this. They always make me think of warmer weather as well, so really works for any time. So here are all the shades together. We've got the cooler tones on top, we've got the warmer tones on the bottom, and even though these are within the kind of same color scheme for the most part, except for the pink and red, I do think that this is a beautiful color palette. This is the exact type of color scheme that I'm usually leaning towards. I love the cool toned purples, I love a blue, I love a purple, and then I always find myself reaching for pinks and reds because that's usually the hair color that I'm going for. But yeah, overall, I think it's absolutely stunning. I loved the formula of these. So many of you reached out to me and were like, did you see this collection? Because it is screaming Kelly. And I agree completely. This is right up my alley. This is exactly the kind of thing that I like. So I was really impressed with these. But yeah, let's talk about it a little bit more. I want to talk more about the jelly-likeness of them, and I also want to talk about my thoughts. So let's get into it. So those are the polishes, and as you can imagine, I love them. I think they're so cool. I love the multiple colors of flakes in there. You know I love a jelly formula, you know I love a jelly flaky, and I always love a very oceanic sort of vibe, and I think this color scheme is just perfect, especially for the warmer weather and as the summer starts. It definitely gives me a lot of like pool, ocean, vacation kind of vibes, and I love that. And I will say, as far as formulas, I know some people were concerned in my YouTube short that 3 coats was too much. Personally, I do enjoy wearing these in 2 coats. I think they're still very smooth and even across the nails. I am actually wearing 2 coats on my nails right now. So if you like that jelly sort of look with the flakies kind of floating in there and giving you a little bit of depth, I do think 2 coats is perfect. But if you want that full punch of color, then that's where I would suggest going in with 3 coats or more, depending on your nail length. The one thing I was thinking of as I was looking at these swatches though is I'm curious to layer them over other colors because I'm a big fan of jellies for layering, and I feel like that's something that Holo Taco does in a really fun way with their kind of layerable toppers. So I'd be curious to try this as like a jelly sandwich, but with different colors in there. So maybe I'll do a YouTube short on that. Let me know what your thoughts are or what colors I should do. But yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed this collection. I thought it was amazing. I love the colors. Honestly, I can never get enough of like the blues, the purples, the teals. So I'm very happy with the color selection here, but I think it would be really cool to see a part 2 of these in some other colors. So maybe that could be something that they do in the future. I do want to take a moment to talk about flaky formulas with a jelly base because I have been getting some questions about that. I am currently wearing 2 coats of one of these polishes with 1 coat of just regular top coat, and it feels completely smooth on my nail. I know sometimes people worry about more glitter heavy formulas kind of sucking up that top coat and making it feel a little bit gritty or less smooth on the nail. I don't find that to be the case with jelly flakies in general, and certainly not with these. I think they applied really smoothly, and I think just one coat of a nice gel-like top coat smooths them out even more. But yeah, now let's get into pricing and availability. All these polishes are currently available on the Holo Taco website. They come in 12 milliliter bottles, and they do have a wide flat brush that has a rounded tip, so application's really easy, and they retail for $14 USD each. So I'm gonna link the polishes down below. You can check them out if you're interested, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What do you think of this collection? Which colors are you most interested in? Have you picked any up, or are you planning to? Leave it all in the comments. We can chat about it. If you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please hit that like button. It really helps me out and it lets me know I'm doing a good job. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe. I love you all, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. I have a would you rather that I was gonna do for this, but I was actually thinking, instead of a would you rather, like just two options, what if I say, what sea creature would you be, like fantastical or otherwise, because that's what this collection is making me think of. It's kind of got like a mermaid vibe to it. So maybe that'll be my question. But honestly, the amount of possibilities is a little bit overwhelming, but I feel like if I were to choose being a sea creature, I would probably choose to be a starfish, because they're just like chilling. My dream life is just to be laying on a rock, and that's it. That's why I moved to the desert, because my dream is to be just like a little lizard laying on a rock. But in ocean form, I guess that would be a starfish. So yeah, I guess I would have to pick that over being a mermaid, only because I don't really know mermaid lore. Like, I'm not 100% sure what their usual powers or abilities are. I've read a few books about sirens and like maybe one or two about mermaids, but I don't really know much mermaid lore. So I don't know. What do you guys think? What sea creature, fantastical or regular sea creature, would you be? Let me know in the comments. We can chat about it, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.